Okay, so we're looking at a formative quiz for spec methods and math methods for their first test. Spec methods, there are other things that I'm not covering, but you'll just have to talk to your teacher about what's going to be different, but this will give you an idea about the common elements. Okay, so we're going to start off with equations. So I want you to pause and have a go, and then when you're ready, come back. Okay, so the lowest common denominator, we've got a 2, a 5, and a 1. The lowest common denominator equals 10. Okay, so that's the lowest common denominator. So that number is going to be multiplied by 5. So that means that that number is multiplied by 5. Okay, this number is going to be multiplied by 2. So that means that that number is multiplied by 2. And then this number is multiplied by 10. So that number is multiplied by 10. Okay, so now we just expand out. 25x minus 15 equals 2x plus 4 minus 40, and then just group the terms, minus 36, 25x minus 15 therefore. So x's can come across and the numbers can go backwards. So 23x and minus 15 becomes plus 15, which is minus 21. So x is minus 21 over 23. Okay, so when you're ready, come across. Okay, so we're looking at equations of lines. So again, just have a go yourself, and when you're ready, come back live. Okay, so you're back. So you've got two approaches. You can do y equals mx plus b, or you can use y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. So whatever you've been using, I'm going to do the y minus y1. So we've got y minus 5 equals 3 bracket x plus 2 equals 3x plus 6. So the minus 5 comes across. You get 3x plus 11. So you get the same answer if you do that. Okay, the next one, the gradient is heading towards the left, so it's a negative gradient. The rise is 4, and the run is 3, so the gradient is minus 4/3. The b value is 4, so the answer is minus 4/3 x plus 4. So the answer. Don't forget, these numbers are positive, but you're not using those numbers. It's heading to the left, so it's negative. Okay, come across when you're ready. Okay, so sketching straight lines. So I want you to pause, and when you're ready, come back. Okay, you're back. Y, x, don't forget your labels. Okay, so the gradient is 1. The y-intercept is minus 5, so there's minus 5. Okay, so a positive 1 means the graph is heading to the right. The x-intercept, so 0 equals x minus 5, so x equals 5, so that value is a 5. Okay, that's how you find x-intercept, y equals 0. Okay, in the next one, it's in general form, so this is going to be easy. The x-intercept is 5x equals 12, so x equals 12 over 5. For the y-intercept, 2y equals 12, so y equals 6, so there's 6, there's 12 over 5, and then just join the lines up. Okay, that's that question done. Not too neat, but it's done. Don't forget to get y and x on your labels. Okay, find equation line parallel to something and perpendicular to something. So have a look at your notes if you need to, and when you're going to come back live. Okay, you're back. Okay, if it's parallel, m equals 2, and it's passing through that point. So I'm going to use the y minus y1 approach. So we've got y minus 1 equals 2 bracket x minus 2 equals 2x minus 4. So the final answer is 2x minus 3. So that's your parallel answer to that. If it's perpendicular, the parallel is minus 4. And so the perpendicular equals a quarter. Flip it and change the sign. And y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1 equals a quarter. Okay, y plus 3 equals a quarter. X minus 0 equals a quarter x. And so y equals a quarter x minus 3 is the final answer. Now, it didn't say what form to put the answer in, so that's okay. If you wanted general form, we'd have to multiply through by 4. So 4y equals 1x minus 12. And then x is okay because it's positive, bring the y backwards. So x minus 4y, and then take the 12 across. So that's in general form, and that's in gradient intercept form. So this question didn't say which form, so both are right, but just do the first one. That's easier. Come across. Okay, solve the following quadratic equations using any method. So I'm going to use the factorise method. Don't do completing the square or anything like that. I think it's too easy, or factorise. So just, or the quadratic form. So it's up to you what you do, but have a go. When you're ready, come back. Okay, first one is difference of two squares. And so the answers are minus 2n plus 2. Okay, next one, you can't have equals 8, so you have to bring it back, so it has equals 0, and then x, so two numbers that multiply to minus 8 that add to 2 is 4, and minus 2 equals 0, so your two answers are -4 and +2. Now next one, you can use any technique. I might use the Indian technique. So 3 times minus 5 equals minus 15. Two numbers that multiply to minus 15 and add to minus 14 is minus 15 and 1. That gives you the minus 14. But I multiply by 3, so I divide by 3, which equals minus 5 and a third. And so the answer's x equals the opposite of those numbers, so it's 5 and negative a third. If you're doing the cross multiply method, it's 3x and x, 5 and 1 will give us the 5, and we need a minus 15, so I'll put the minus and the plus. So that's minus 15x, that's plus x, which adds to minus 14x, which is what I want. So brackets are 3x plus 1, bracket x minus 5. And there's the 5 answer, and that answer is the minus 1/3 answer. So you may not have seen that technique my class has, but otherwise use cross multiply. Okay, complete the square for that, and thus state the vertex. The vertex is also called the turning point. So again, check your notes, but let's go when you're ready. Okay, so x squared plus 4x. So we've got to halve that number, which gives us 2, and square it, so we end up with 4. But I want the number to be minus 15, so minus 11, so I have to subtract 15 to get minus 11 back. So I've got x plus 2 squared minus 15, so I'll complete the square. So the vertex equals opposite number, minus 2, and you just take that number. And that's your vertex, your turning points. Okay, come across. Find the equation of the new parabola if y equals x squared is reflected in the x-axis and has a dilation factor of 3. Okay, so y equals x squared is like that, and you have to reflect it and then dilate. Have a go, and the next one is a translation 2 units down. Okay, you're back. Okay, so to reflect it in the x-axis, it has to be a minus x squared, and because it's got a dilation of factor 3, it's going to be minus 3x squared. Okay, all we're doing here is translating 2 units down, so it's x squared minus 2. Okay, come across when you're ready. Sketch using any method. So when you're sketching, you're going to have to show x-intercepts, y-intercept, turning point, axis of symmetry. They're the things you have to show. Okay, so when you're ready, have a go. Okay, you're back. So you had a few choices. I'm going to use completing the square because I like it. So y equals x squared minus 6x. So you halve that number's minus 3 and square it, so it's plus 9. And if I want to get minus 3 and I've already got plus 9, I have to subtract 12, okay, to get my minus 3. So it's x minus 3 squared minus 12. So the turning point is minus 3 plus 12. Okay, the y-intercept comes from the original equation, which is just minus 3. The axis of symmetry is easy. Axis of symmetry is just that number, x equals minus 3. And so the only hard part to do is the x-intercepts, which is y equals 0. So 0 equals x minus 3 squared minus 12. So x minus 3 squared equals plus 12, so x minus 3 equals plus or minus root 12, so x equals positive 3 plus or minus root 12. Okay, so then you can just do a decimal approximations. I haven't got my calculator with me, but square root of 12, say it's 3.5, so 3 plus 3.5 is 6.5. Now these are not the answers, I'm just doing guesses. 3.5, 3 minus 3.5, so it's about minus 0.5, something like that. Okay, so then just join the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I've done it badly. Minus 1, minus 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, minus 3, 12. Ooh. Minus 3, minus 12. Silly, minus 3, minus 12. That's not getting nowhere there. So there's the turning point. Y-intercept is minus 3. That's bad. Axis of symmetry, dotted line, and 6.5 and 0.5. Positive 0.5 is there. And so it's coming down, going up, so Y and X. Okay, so that number there, I made a mistake, so that sign goes in. And that should be plus 3. So I've done my graph on the wrong side. That's because I'm rushing through things. It's late on an afternoon. And okay, bad mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, minus 1. So that should be plus 3. So 3, and it's minus 12. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's a turning point. Axis of symmetry is plus 3. Okay, and 6.5. Okay, get some colours. 6.5 and minus 0.5. Turning point. Y-intercept was minus 3. That was pretty bad, wasn't it? And now I finished it. Y and X. So sorry about those early mistakes. Alright, let's move across. We've got 4 more pages to go. How many x-intercepts, how many roots does 2x squared plus 4x minus 8 have? So you have to find the discriminants. Okay, so have a go when you're ready. Okay, a equals 2, b equals 4, c equals minus 8. So b squared minus 4ac equals 4 squared minus 4ac equals 16. Minus and minus is a plus. 4 2s are 8, 8 8s are 64. Equals 80. So it's a positive number, so there are 2 roots. Okay, come across. Okay, write the equation down. So again, this is later. We've got 3 pages to go. Have a go. You should have seen some questions like this before. Okay, you're back. So if x minus 1 is a root, then x plus 1 is the bracket. If x equals 3, then x minus 3 is a bracket. But 1 times minus 3 equals minus 3, but I've only got minus 1. So minus 3 times x equals minus 1. So x equals minus 1 over minus 3. So it's a third. So we just stick a third out the front, and that's the answer. So don't forget this number here, you've got to get like 1 times minus 3 does not equal minus 1. So that's the compensation number. Okay, moving across. Okay, the height of a ball thrown up is given by that's h is height, t equals time. When is the ball on the ground? When the ball's on the ground, height equals 0, so just try that one. When is the ball at 2 meters? Height equals 2. And what is the maximum height? So we're looking for the turning point height, okay? Not the time, but the heights. So when you're ready, have a go and come back. Okay, so I've gone too far, I can't see the question. Okay. So in part A, when's the ball on the ground? So 0 equals 6t minus t squared. Factorise t bracket 6 minus t. So the 2 times the ball's on the ground is 0 and 6 seconds. So this is when it's first on the ground, and this is when it comes back to the ground. Okay, so you're chucking the ball at the start and then it hits the ground later on. Okay, next one, when is the ball at 2 meters? So 2 equals 6t minus t squared. So bring all of that to the other side to get rid of minus t squared. So t squared minus 6t plus 2 equals 0. So I have to use the quadratic formula because it doesn't factorise. Time equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. 6 plus or minus root 28 over 2. So, okay, so root 28, say it's 5.2. Say root 28, I haven't got my calculator. Say it's 5.2. So 6 plus 5.2 is 11.2 over 2. And 6 minus 5.2 is 0.8 over 2. So these are just approximate. So it's at 5.6 and 0.4 seconds. So what's happening is it's going through 2 meters at 0.4 of a second, and on the way down it's going through 2 meters at 5.6 seconds. Okay, maximum height is at the turning points. Now, they're the x-intercepts, so to speak. So maximum height is halfway between those numbers. So add them and divide by 2. So the maximum height is at 3 seconds. So height equals 6 times 3 minus 3 squared equals 18 minus 9. So the maximum height of the ball is at 9 meters. So this is applications of quadratic functions. Moving on, last page. Prove that triangle formed by coordinates 1, 1, 1, 4 and 5, 1 form a right angle triangle. So I just made one. It's pretty straightforward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I do a sketch, you'll see what I mean. So 1, 1 is there, 1, 4 is there, and 5, 1. So you have to prove, not just by sketching, okay, that's a right angle triangle. So you can use the distances and then use Pythagoras, or you can use the gradients and get a perpendicular. Okay, so it's up to you. Okay, it's up to you what you do. You know, like this distance from 1 to 5, the distance is 4. From 1 to 4, the distance is 3. And then we don't know there's a right angle, so we'll have to find the distance. So the distance between 1, 4 and 5, 1. So we have to use subtract the numbers, so you get minus 4 and 3. So the distance equals the square root of minus 4 squared plus 3 squared equals 16 plus 9 equals 25 equals 5. So that distance there is 5. So you've got a 3, 4, 5, and that's a Pythagorean triad. Otherwise, prove that that and that are perpendicular. This is going straight up, so the gradient is undefined. This gradient is 0, and even though normally you have m1 times m2 equals minus 1 to prove perpendiculars, when you have a line going straight up and straight across, they have to meet at a right angle. So you can use distances or gradients. Okay, so that's a pretty rushed video, but that's all I had time for. Thanks, bye.